Hi AALD, this is David, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to build a Toronto Victorian house in Rhino, and you can use the skills to build pretty much any type of structure to complete your ARC200 Project 2 and Project 3 assignments. So I have this footprint taken just from a random house, and what you guys will find is that a lot of the footprints of the houses that your teacher provides you are very wonky and skewed. So first things first, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to clean it up. On a layer called original line work, I have this, and I'm gonna clean it up now. So first, you're gonna grab the point, you're gonna line it up like that, and then we can see here that these points do not align and that these angles are off. So what I like to do is again line that up like so. So then this line is correct. However, as we can see here, this hexagon is not correct. So what you can do is you can go into your polygon tool. You can grab from this point to that point and then just shrink that there. So we can put that, and then what we can do is we can probably scale this down like so, roughly speaking, and then connect those points like that. From this point, what we're going to do is we're going to go to a layer called massing. We're going to go into perspective, and we're going to use the command extrude curve. And so most Toronto Victorian homes are about 35 to 40 feet. So I'm going to make this 36 feet. As you can see, it's an open poly surface, so we're going to use command cap to close it. After that, we're going to focus on making the roof of the house. So a lot of Victorian homes have a pitched roof, right? Kind of triangular. So what you can do is you can really easily type in extrude surf, and let's make that, an additional few feet. Actually, let's use scale 1D. Let's do this, bring that to about 40 feet. Then what we're going to do is on a layer called guidelines, we can determine that the roof should be about 10 feet in height. So we'll drop a line down there at 10 feet, connect it there, and then a lot of these houses have a roof that sort of goes like that and then down. And then we can use the command extrude curve, bring that there, and then from here we can split via that. So that can go. We can do another thing. We can scale 1D this, and then we can just go Boolean difference using that, and then this whole thing can merge again, split like so, and then there we go. So now we have this roof structure here, and we can then put that on our roof layer as so. And from this point, what we want to do is we want to create a pitch on this little bump out here. So how we do that is we can extrude this surface, we can drag it to that point, and then going back to your guidelines layer, draw a line here, draw a straight line out, copy it over to the other side, and then I'm going to draw a line here. Now here we're going to hold down shift and pull that. So now we have intersecting points. So from there, we just draw something like that. So now with these guidelines, we can go back to our roof layer. We can, use this tool called surface point and just connect these lines like so, and do the same thing on the other side, just like that. Now we can turn our guidelines off, and we can take this object and we can split this using these right there, just like that, and we can join that. Now let's go back to our masking layer, turn off our roof, see what we're working with. Okay, so I'm going to copy this, I'm going to paste it, I'm going to change object layer and then join those so that this masking is closed. When we turn off our roof layer, this is still a solid object. So select our roof, we're going to isolate, and I'm actually going to isolate that, and I'm going to close this off as well. So join that, merge, there we go. We're going to change it to masking layer. And Boolean union, orthogonal coplanar faces. So now we have this roof here, and we need to add some depth to it. So there's a few ways we can do that. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using the offset surface command, and to do that, all you got to do is select your surfaces, and then offset surf, and then I want to flip all so that they're going outwards, and I'm going to make them go out by 3 inches. 3 inches. So there's a bit of an issue here. This top edge oversteps this edge here. So this is a bit of a complicated issue, but essentially what you can do is you can go on your guidelines layer and you can select this object and use the scale 1D command. Select from there to midpoint, or should I say select your midpoint to here, and then line that up like so, and we can cut that off later. So you get your guideline layer, and then from here we can move these objects. And here, what we can do, actually, let's just explode this really quickly. Delete that, delete that. Delete that. There we go. Now we're going to join those, and we're going to cap them. Now it's a closed poly surface. Merge those faces, and boom, there we go. Turn your masking layer back on. Now you have a 3-dimensional roof. You can see though that it intersects because we shrunk it. So what we're going to do is we're going to select this. We're going to go Boolean difference, roof, and there we go. Now everything lines up perfectly. Okay, so roofs have overhangs. If you want to get into that level of detail, all you do is extrude surf and bring that out about 3 inches. And we just can copy this using the copy command, which is Control-C. And then we can do the same thing here. Extrude surf, bring that out 3 inches. As well as, so now we're going to select objects, and Boolean union those, and merge the faces. So now there's an eave on this roof. Alternatively, what you can do for a roof, if you're given a house like this and you just want a basic regular roof, what you can do is you can draw a line from the midpoint to this midpoint, just like that, like that. And what you can do is you can copy it and paste it. That was not what I wanted. Copy and paste it, and we can bring that up about anywhere from 4 to 6 feet, whatever the pitch is. Let's say 6 feet. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take a curve like that, and you're going to want to use the command sweep 1, select your rail, and then select the shape, and there you go. So that doesn't line up. And what we can do is just bring that in, just like that, and then close it off with another surface point, slice it all, join, and cap. It's pretty simple, straightforward roof. So yeah, that's the alternative. The next step is to make the front porch of this house, and that's pretty straightforward. So first what we're going to do is we're going to go into a porch layer. I made one already. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our box option, try to get to there, and it doesn't matter what size, but we're going to make it 3 feet tall. Actually, yeah, 3 feet tall. So now we're going to use the scale 1D command. We're going to make that 10 feet deep, like so. Then what we're going to do is we're going to extrude this surface. Now we're going to make the porch cover. So we can just copy that and place it there. And then we bring it up at 9 feet. And then scale 1D. And make that so that it's only a foot high. Do the same thing, copy that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to draw a triangle like that. Delete that. Extrude surface. And now we have a nice porch cover. What we can do here, we can select these objects and again remove boolean difference. Select the mouse in, and now they wrap around it. So the next step to this porch will be to add columns. So what we can do is we can add a layer here, call it columns. Use your box command, pick a corner, let's make it 1.5 feet by 1.5 feet by 3 feet tall. Select it, move it here, and then we're just going to copy it all around. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to add the cylindrical portion of the columns. It's pretty straightforward. We just make a cylinder like that, and then I'm going to make it a bit smaller. We're going to then move it, and that looks centered. Now we're going to take this, we're going to go command isolate, because what we're going to do is we're going to taper it. So we're going to click our center snap on. We're going to command taper, and first we're going to go to the bottom. We're going to select the center, 2 to center, grab a side, and just preserve structure, yes. And then just something like that. So now, for more detail, for more ornamentation, we can go extrude surface, select this, bring it up 0.2, maybe even 0.15. We're going to copy that, like that. We're going to go 0.9, 0.9, 10. We're going to go 1.1 and 1.1. it kind of gets in there, but that's how they look in real life. We're going to do the same for the top here. So I'm going to copy. And this is a bit big, so what we can do is we can go 0.8 and then 0.8 to be proportionate. So from this point, we can then select these objects, Boolean union them, merge their faces, and again just copy them. Next, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to build a fence so that there's a barrier around this porch so that no one falls off. So to do that, make a new layer called fence. We use our box command, click the corner. So we're going to be using something like a 1x3 piece of wood. So we're going to go 3 inches by 1 inch. And we're going to bring that up to 3 feet. Move that there, shift it like there, maybe even there. And we're going to use the command array linear. Let's say we need 70 of these things, and just like that. Oh, I lied. We're going to do 70 of these things, and then something like that. And perfect. We can now select these objects, isolate them, and just delete these ones. There you go. So now we have this fence, same piece of wood, copy, paste. We're going to rotate it 90 degrees. And like that, drop it a little bit, and we're going to go scale 1D. And bring it to this edge. If you want that level of detail, you don't need this. We're just going to copy and paste that and drag it down somewhere like that. So we're going to repeat that so that we can have a fence there and a fence there. The fence is done. Now what we can do is we can start looking at making windows. Right off the bat, I see that this is way too big here. This measures at what? This measures at 16 feet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a box. Doesn't matter the footprint, but I'm going to bring it. So the height of this here should be about 10 feet. So I'm going to make this box 6 feet tall. I'm going to move it right here or somewhere like there, and I'm going to then pull it this way and then pull it this way. I'm going to take this and I'm going to go Boolean difference, delete input yes, select the input, there we go. Now I'm just going to move this down like that and Boolean union, merge the faces. Now this is more appropriate. Let's start with the bay windows. I'm going to turn off the porch. Well, I'm going to turn off the fence and the columns. And I'm going to put in the bay windows on here and here. So how do you actually draw on a vertical side? Right, when you go and you draw a square, it always draws on this ground plane. So what you can do is you can use the command cplane, use a 3-point option, and we can then click on a point like there, set your x-axis along here, and then your y-axis along there. And now the C-plane is on this face specifically. Now we can start drawing whatever we'd like, and they will be on the face. So let's go to our guidelines layer, and let's delete these guidelines because those are no longer needed. And let's start roughing out where we think would be most appropriate for the windows. Relatively speaking, they should be few feet off the ground. So let's just say they're about 2 feet tall off of this front porch cover. This should probably be about 7. No. Okay, 7 by 7. 7 by 7. And we're gonna move this there. And then we're going to just copy this below. Then we're going to use our C-plane command again. 3-point x-axis there, y-axis there. Because now what we can do is we can draw on this face. So I'm just going to make that 7 by 7 again. Not that that's correct, but we're going to use scale 1D. And let's see roughly how far off the wall is that. So we're going to make that 8 inches off the wall. And then we're going to bring it up to there. And we can copy this like that. So Toronto homes typically also have a window here, like one above the door, which the door will be here, and then some of them also have a clerestory window, which I will show you how to make as well. So let's go change our C-plane again, 3-point there, there, and then y-axis there. I'm going to copy this. Something, well, let's see. Okay, I'm just going to move it however I want. So I don't know how wide it's going to be. Let's say it's a 4-foot wide window and 7 feet tall. So I'm going to move that to there, and then I can do that. And I want to center it in this wall. So there we go. That's a window there. I'm going to just copy that. I'm going to bring it to here. Now, this should be 8 feet tall at least. These windows need to be scaled down to 6 feet so that everything's aligned. In fact, I would make the argument that maybe 7 feet is too much. So I'm going to scale all of these down to 6 feet as well. And I'm going to shift them up another foot. These can stay there though. And then lastly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another window here. And that's going to line up with the clerestory window that I put in very soon. And that looks right. Now a clerestory window would fall in line with this here, this line here. So I'm going to go back into my massing layer. I'm going to take this and go, before I do that, I am going to change the C-plane back to just regular boring. I'm going to extrude curve to there, cap this, and I'm going to not be split by that because I need to line that up. So this is now the window. Now this clerestory window also needs a pitch, and that pitch can be however high I want it to be. So we need to go like that, we need to go like that, and we need to extrude, curve, bring it there. We can then split this by those. And then let's close this thing off. And delete these guys there. So now we have this joint and we can cap this. So this is now another bit. And we're going to create another pitch roof. Very similar to what we've done before. Go like that, and then we can hold down shift. And let's mirror that. Like that. And let's extrude curve. And get like that. Join those. And offset surf 3 inches. Great. There's those faces. It's not exactly meeting, which is fine. Just go like that. Like that. Holding union. That's fine. And then I'm going to go boolean difference. Boolean difference. Like that. To get rid of that extra chunk that was in there. And then bring this out 3 inches. There's an overhang. And there we go. So now that we have all of our windows sketched out, what we're going to do is we're going to select all the objects. We're going to explode them. And then what we're going to do is we're going to isolate. And then on a new layer, I'm just going to call this windows. We are going to select one at a time, and we're going to go edge surf. And now we select all these objects here. Select objects. We're going to go offset surf, and we're going to flip these two by just clicking on them, and we are going to go 6 inches. Say OK. We can turn off our guidelines, and now what we can do is we can go boolean difference, select our windows, and hit enter. What I like to do now to add detail is I like to just take those same windows, and we're going to go offset, or here we're going to add a new layer. It's going to be called window negative, and we're going to go offset surface. We're going to subtract it by about 2 inches. I'm going to say OK, select it, and then just difference. And now we have this frame. And there you go. Do the same thing with these. just do these though, scale 1D. And then we're going to move them back. We can do this. Boolean difference. Those out of there. We can actually just mirror them on the other side. Very, very simple. That should all line up. Perfect. So now we have all these frames. So you don't want to get too much detail, because too much detail is actually going to be a pain in the butt later when you're actually making your drawings. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to show you just minimal detail. And for example, taking something like this, we can just put it in the center of the frame. Right. And we'll just leave this open and this open. So with this door though, you know, doors don't, or they shouldn't have framing all the way around to the bottom. So we can go Boolean difference, just like that. And then with the door, I'm going to go ahead and actually I'm going to leave that as is. Or no, I shouldn't. So it should be flush with the rest of the house. Also, I'm missing a window here. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Again, I'm not going to add detail to this window. It's unimportant for the sake of this video. Oh, I forgot about that. Okay. Wow. Let me fix that. Turn off your guidelines. And then, well, you can then go in and add chimney. Let's go add a chimney layer just for some fun touch-ups if you're being particular. What we can do, what we can do is we can actually just take this. We're going to just copy that and place the chimney somewhere like here, and maybe now here what we're going to do is we're going to isolate that, explode, and we're just going to delete that there. We're going to join those, we're going to cap it and merge those layers, and that looks kind of like a chimney. We can increase the size, we can bring that over here. It wouldn't actually be there, so let's say there. And there's your typical Toronto home. Now, a lot of Toronto homes, as you may be aware, are duplexes. So we can do that by just taking everything and mirroring it, and then joining where appropriate. Boolean union that. Boolean union that, so on and so forth. And then with these columns, we can go like that. Select these fences, delete them, and just put these in the center there. There you have it, really. It's relatively straightforward to make these kinds of projects, these kinds of buildings. So, yeah, there you go.